I mean, realistically, if you think about it, not that this is a pleasant thing to think about, it's probably just covered in spit. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's probably just spit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a creature entirely made of mouth.
yeah. So there's spit. Hi, I'm Emme.
And I am James.
And welcome back to the Bestiary, Monster Manual A through Z. And James, what are we talking about today?
It's a creature composed entirely of the most terrifying part of anything's body. The mouth. It's the Gibbering Mouther.
Yes, it is a particularly nasty aberration. It is the result of a sorcery gone wrong. So there's probably half a dozen ways that something like this could be made, all of them deeply unpleasant, and something went wrong, and this is the result. A combination of creatures that is mostly just eyeballs and teeth and mouths and anything that it consumes, and it is driven to consume. It has only one purpose any longer, is to consume other things. They are added to it. So it is a combination of everything it's ever eaten.
Indeed. The Gibbering Mouther, each one of them probably unique in terms of their mode of creation, being through some kind of magical experiment or spell gone wrong, teleportation, transformation, or something. Very Full Metal Alchemist vibes. And in terms of the things that they've consumed, adding to themselves, they are, as I say, are probably completely unique and different from each other, but all equally horrible. It's The Thing, essentially, from the eponymous film. And they leave nothing behind when they consume them. Now, typically, the attitude of using all parts of the buffalo, sustainability and all that, good thing. Horrifying in this case. It eats you down to nothing and then just moves on. Its acidity and horrible form, even warping the stone or earth around it where it moves.
In this particular monster's case, it is what it eats. So it has a cacophonous sound that it makes full of madness. You might be able to catch a word here or there, but at no point is it particularly coherent. You would hear the voices of everything it has ever eaten. So you would just kind of become a part of it, and it's just deeply unsettling and awful. Like you were saying, they are almost certainly no two alike. And when making something like this, you could really come up with, what it's been eating, where it's been, how long it's been alive. You could really play with the unique nature of it. In the art in the book,
it's horrible. Take it away.
It's so horrible. I'm guessing it's been eating a lot of reptiles, whatever this one is. Maybe just like a bunch of kobolds or something. I don't know,
it's got
but it's
mouths
awful.
Within mouths.
The double mouth, and the teeth everywhere. The stringy nature. It's so awful. Just so awful.
Just this amorphous nature. It's just a blob with teeth out of an R.L. Stine novel.
I like the spot where there's just like a pile of eyeballs on the side there.
What do you need all those eyeballs for, mate? How many things are you looking at? Stop it. I don't like it.
Quite a lot of things, I'm guessing. I like the tendrils with eyeballs on them. And by that I mean I hate it. It's so awful.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. That's awful. Thank you.
Yeah, I hate it. No, thank you. Please issue me a return as quickly as possible. And fighting these guys isn't hugely hard. They're a challenge rating 2. So if you're a very, 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 very low level player, this could be particularly intimidating, but mostly they're just gross. They're just gross ambiance. They imply there's something awful that is happening or has happened in this area that would warrant its creation. They imply that there's just sort of a darkness or something wrong. They're not hard to escape. They can only move 10 feet at a time. And they can't swim, though, which is just an awful image.
Yeah, I mean, horrible plopping noise as it rolls into the water and flails about. But again, most player characters are able to swim and move faster than 10 feet around. So yeah, there's a huge potential here for a DM to be like, tone established. We are doing Lovecraftian body horror stuff.
Buckle in.
So, from a DM perspective, I might want to, maybe in the first couple of sessions, throw one of these at a really low-level party as a thing that they just have to run away from. They can't get up and... It's not that tough, but it's tougher than them. And it's horrible and awful. And it's going to perpetually come after them, making these really awful noises and moving in this really alien, disturbing way. Brilliant creature to just be able to freak your players out.
Yeah, and again, at an early level, these guys can be a little intimidating. They are immune to prone because
they're not really standing up.
And they're never upright, really. They're amoeboid. Amoeboid?
Amoeboid?
Amoeboid? I know exactly what the word
Amoeboid?
means, but I'm having a hard time, it's what they're just... Well. So they're immune to being prone, but mostly the thing about them is because they do dissolve stone around them. And this is such an awful way of describing it that they chose in the book. They make the ground around them dough-like.
Pretty sure the only incidence of that word in any Dungeons and Dragons publication, dough-like. They could have said sticky. They could have said malformed or some such.
Dough-like. It's so awful and terrible. So if you get too close to it, you actually might stop being able to move because the ground is just too difficult to move in. If you are too close to it, the gibbering that it makes can induce a state where you can't take reactions and it's harder for you to move. You slow down. You might move a different direction. So it can be hard to get away from it. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the spit.
Oh, how could you forget about the spit?
How could I forget about its spit?
Never forget about the spit. Spit.
It's so awful. It's
light. Okay, so one of very few low-level challenge monsters to have a recharge ability, and actually, interestingly, intersecting with its multi-attack in an interesting way, because most creatures that have a multi-attack have a multi-attack. They're like, claw, bite, or tail, or whatever.
Any combination therein.
Sure. And some have a multi-attack and a recharge ability, like a dragon and its claws and its teeth and its breath weapon. The Gibbering Mouther has a multi-attack that says it bites you, or tries to bite you, and then if it has its blinding spittle ability, it uses that as well. Now, the blinding spittle, if this thing wasn't already weird enough and Lovecraftian and enough for you, it's this acidic gob of mucus that explodes in a flash of light and can potentially blind you for a round. What? Why does it do that?
Yeah, why?
Because it's awful and it hates you.
Because it's terrible. It's so terrible. It's so... at some point, when I saw blinding spittle, I had this Jurassic Park image in my mind immediately where it lands on your face and then you can't see. No, glowing spit.
Yep.
Okay, sure.
Doesn't even have to hit you with it.
And the again, talking about this guy being 3,000% ambiance. The other thing that I think could be really fun is, again, just ways you could play with it. Like maybe it's eaten someone recently that you knew, or it could again have a bunch of different parts, but parts of it are rat mouths because it's been wandering around in the sewer, and there's so many fun and disturbing options for this, even beyond just it existing and fighting it. Its very presence is just simply upsetting.
Yeah. Harvest the blood of everyone you know, put them in little petri dishes, and then touch hot wires to them. There might be a Gibbering Mouther. 1,000 voices thank you as one for visiting us here again at the Adventurers Pack for the Bestiary Monster Manual A to Z. What's the most interesting thing you've ever heard the face of somebody you thought you knew from inside this kind of weird walking tumor say? Not even walking, really, but let us know in the comments. We do love to hear from you and the stories that we as a community share. While you're there, you'll find our various social media links. Give us a follow if you haven't already. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, give the video a like. It does actually help the whole algorithm thing. Check out some of our other stuff here and join us next week when we're looking at, what is it, Emmy?
It's the gift!
It's the gift. It's like Emmy's favorite thing.
Oh, they're so
See you
cool.
next time.